6 of the NFL season. It kicks off tonight right down the street from where I'm sitting at Lincoln Financial Field. The Philadelphia Eagles hosted Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And to talk about that game and the rest of the NFL card for this weekend, let's go to parts unknown because Steve the Philly Godfather is not in his usual location. I think the 8 Ball, I think, stole his seat tonight. But let's go to the Philly Godfather to kick us off tonight.
Yeah, I'm out here in Western Pennsylvania picking up some envelopes because we kicked so much fucking ass last week on the show. Again, over 3,000 sports bettors watched the show. I want to thank you guys, and we're kicking it off a little late today, so let's get right to the action here. Everyone's on the show except for Rooster. We're waiting for him to come on. So let's go to Dave Mason from Bet Online. Let's go to game 251, 252 on your sports betting screen. Another game out here in London. Miami versus Jacksonville. Game opened up 3. We saw some early movement in the week up to 3.5. I think it's back down to 3. 3 minus 07 at Bet Online. The total has been creeping up to 47. Dave Mason, as of right now, which way is the public bet in this game? And is there any sharp action on either the side or the total?
The action's pretty choppy. 50 on the Jags, 56% on the over. We did see some sharp. You mentioned how the total's creeping up, and that's because of some sharp action over 44. So, yep, it's up to 47.
All right, let me go to Batman first. Batman, you like a side here or a total?
So Tua Tagovailoa is supposed to play from all the injury reports I saw today. I think obviously that helps Miami's chances because he's not as statuesque is Jacoby Brissett. They have really banged up wide receivers in Miami. Jacksonville's a mess. The point differential actually favors Jacksonville here, which is kind of interesting. The metrics are pretty similar between these teams. I think if there's any play here, it has to be on the dog, plus 3.5. It's been bet down to 3, so a lean to Jacksonville here plus the points.
8 Ball, you like anyone in this matchup?
Yeah, I think the Jazz are the right side here. They've won a lot of box scores this year. They've been losing games off the turnovers. They should have beat Cincinnati. Last week, they beat Tennessee in the box score yardage. So I definitely think if the Jags are going to win a game, it's going to be this one. Miami doesn't seem like they have an identity on offense. And Tua's first game back also. You know, he hasn't looked good this year. I think the Jags are right side here, plus a 3, 3.5.
Let me go to Sheep at Barry right number. Sheep, you like anybody here in this matchup?
I like the fish. I hope I can lay some 3 even. I like the fish. I think they're a lot better team than the Jaguars, and I think Urban Meyer gets canned by next week, by Wednesday after they go 0-6.
Let me go to the college kids. Matt first. Matt, you like a side or a toe here?
I think Matt fell. Here comes Holt. We got Rooster, but we have Rooster on. Matt may have fallen off for a half a second.
All right, Rooster, you here?
I'm here, but I'm in the car. I'm going to be at my station in about 4 minutes.
It don't matter. We're talking about Jacksonville versus Miami, London, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Who do you like?
Well, This is a tough game because it's on a neutral field. I still haven't lost faith in Jacksonville here. I was looking at this game earlier this morning. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, I still have faith in Jacksonville. I mean, I know they got some turmoil going on down there, 2 Florida teams, but I like Jacksonville here.
I agree with you, Rooster. I mean, with Gruden taking over the news cycle, I think Urban Meyer's off the hook here. I like the Jags plus 3. Miami does have the better record at 1-4, but I'll take the better quarterback with Trevor Lawrence. I mean, the Jags have a better point differential.
And I honestly think Urban Meyer's the one that leaked these emails on Gruden because it completely shut him down. I've never seen anything. I haven't heard Urban Meyer's name all week now.
Rooster, we have a quick question from one of our followers. Are you out driving to get a new bottle of wine?
My wine?
Is it?
I already warned her that I'll be there in a few minutes. So wine is stocked in my wine cellar, which I'll show you guys one night.
Listen, after the week he had last week, he's down to drinking Manischewitz. Baltimore. Let's keep it real, Rooster.
First of all, Matt, anytime you come over my house, I don't give you that shit you're used to drinking. You drink real wine in my house.
All right, let's go back to Dave Mason from Bet Online. Next game on the screen, game 253, 254. You got a bad Texans team, a Colts team that found a way to lose last week. Heartbreaking loss. Both teams are 1-4. Big price here. Indianapolis laying 10 at home. The total 43. Dave Mason, as of right now, is there any sharp money on the side or the total here?
Nothing too sharp here. Bet Online, 85% of the action's on the over, currently 43, and again, the spread action's pretty chop. 52% of the cash is on the Colts.
Let me go to Matt from College Kids. Matt, do you like anyone here?
Haven't touched nothing yet. It's tough for me to bet the Texans with Mills quarterbacking, but the Colts team impressed me last week. They fought Baltimore really hard. They should have won the game or could have won the game. They could have won a lot of games this year. If I'm going to take anything, I'll probably lay the number on the Colts, -9.5, and if I can grab it.
All right, let me go to Chief. Chief, you got a monster move here? Who do you like?
I do like the Colts, but I hate laying 10 in this position. I mean, 9.5 seemed entertaining for a bit. I'm going to pull a Rooster move. Wait till the game goes to post. If I can grab a 9.5, I will. But over 43 is one of my 4 biggest plays of the week.
Well, Rooster actually got something right. He said Carson Wentz is better than Russell Wilson, and since Russell Wilson is out for the next week, he actually is better than him. So let me go to Rooster on this one. Rooster, you like a side or a total here?
I tried to tell you guys, you got to back Pennsylvania over Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson's going to be watching on TV now for about 8 weeks. And all night, I took a lot of heat on Twitter for that. Who would you rather have now, Russell Wilson or Carson Wentz? That's all I'm asking you.
You think anybody?
I actually like the dog here, honestly. I think it's too many points. The Colts have a lot of issues. Wentz still is trying to kind of get used to this offense. Their offensive line has had some struggles. I mean, the Texans are weak, obviously, but 10 points, double digit, I don't see it. I like the Texans here.
Let me go to Batman. Batman, bookmakers are begging for Texans money here. Are you going to take the dog or are you going to lay the favorite?
Well, this is one of my few teaser games I ever play. I took Indy in a teaser down to 2.5, and I've got a couple other teams that I've played it with. I think that the Houston Texans on the road with that crowd and that crowd noise, Indy coming off a really tough loss. Indy's offensive line played the best game of the entire year against Baltimore. They're getting a little bit healthier on defense too as well. I like, if I had to bet it at 9.5, I'd take the Colts, and I think there's going to be some points in the game. So I'm on the same side as Baba of over 43.
I agree with you, man. I like the Colts here. I think they light it up this week versus a team that has the 5th worst offense in the entire league. And when it comes to scoring points, I think they have the 4th worst point differential as well. I mean, the Colts have probably one of the best turnover differentials in the NFL this year. I think they're 4th or 5th, so they're not going to turn the ball over. I got a feeling they're going to score at will here and just light it up. Texans have been giving up a lot of points this year on defense. I think the Colts in the blowout. But let's go to this game on the screen. Let me go to Dave Mason again. Green Bay at Chicago. Game opens up 4.5. I'm seeing 5.5 in the market. Bet online is 5.5 and 44.5 on the total. Is there any sharp money on either side or the total here?
Nothing too sharp as yet. We're going to need the Bears big. 71% of their early cash is on the Packers, and 69% is on the under, currently 44.5.
Let me go to Rooster first. Rooster, I mean, this is a big division game. If the Bears win, they actually take over first place because I think they'll be 2-0 in the division in the NFC North. You see them having a chance of covering the spread or win the game outright?
All right, I'm at my post now, guys. So now you get some real analysis. But absolutely love the Bears. Love them. I think they win this game outright.
Wow. And the line's moving the other way. I mean, Who's on the other side? Whose team the Packers?
Well, I think you're going to get a lot of square money on the Packers, especially before game time. People are high on the Packers right now, but to me, they haven't really proven themselves. I'm not high on the Packers. The Bears, obviously, I'm not high on them, but this is a good spot for them. And I think the Packers are a little bit overrated right now, which usually happens when you win a big game or two. But I really like the Bears here. This is one of my biggest games of the week.
Write that down, everybody, before he gets dementia next week.
Then we got 8-Ball next. 8-Ball, you like a side or a total?
Nah, I don't love this game at all. It's early right now. I don't lean aside. Maybe Sunday, but right now, nothing on this game.
Let me go to Matty from the college kids. Matt, you got a side or a total?
Haven't touched nothing. The Bears, and Packers, these games are usually tough games, division games, It's tough for me. The Bears are hurt right now, so I haven't touched the game yet.
Batman, you like anybody?
So the injury report today is a big deal for me as to why I haven't played anybody. Khalil Mack did not practice the last 2 days. He is definitely a game-time decision. And the bigger one for me besides Khalil Mack is Akeem Hicks. I think Akeem Hicks is their entire glue to that defensive line. He's the run stopper, which you need against Green Bay, which Aaron Rodgers checks to in those pass situations. If Khalil Mack and Akeem Hicks do not play in this game, Green Bay is golden. If they do play in this game, I lean Chicago. I think that's how big those two guys are. So for me, it's injury report check on Sunday and see who's playing.
I know Robinson's also banged up for the Bears. I think the running back Williams is dealing with some COVID issues. Like Batman said, if you're going to wait closer to kickoff, Rooster brought up a good point about the Packers. Who have they beat? They beat a mediocre Saints team. They had a tough time against the best 0-5 team in the NFL, the Detroit Lions. They barely squeezed by San Francisco, who's all banged up. And they were lucky to leave Cincinnati, a team that Vegas projected to win only 6 games this year, with a victory. So they really haven't, their opponents haven't been that strong. Chicago, I think, have played some of the better teams here. A healthy Chicago team definitely, I think, stay within the number. But pay attention to that injury report, like Batman said. All right, let's go to the next game on the screen. Kansas City 2-3 against the Washington football team, also 2-3. You got a big number here, 6.5, 7 on the road in Washington. The weather looks to be fine. Totals up to 54. I don't know how they don't score 100 points in this one. Dave Mason from Bet Online. How are they betting this one?
Public's on the Chiefs. We currently have it 6.5. 79% of the early cash is on the Chiefs, and 77% is on the under too, which includes some sharp action that hit under 57.
Let's go to Batman first. Batman, you like anybody here?
I really like the Washington Redskins in this game. I took them at 7.5. It hit in our market at 7. I took it at 7.5. I think 54.5 is too low. I think they go over this game. I think that the Kansas City defense is the worst defense in the NFL. I think Washington will be able to keep it close enough with their defense being a little bit higher leverage than KC's. So give me those two sides in the game.
Let me go to 8-Ball. 8-Ball, you like anybody here?
Yeah, I love Washington in this game. I mean, the Chiefs haven't been able to stop anyone all year. Their O-line has been looking shaky. Washington has a better defense, better defensive line. They're able to put up points. They're at home. I think the Chiefs overvalued here. I don't think they should be laying 7 on the road against most teams. So I definitely love Washington here.
Rooster, seems like everyone's turning against your Chiefs. Your Andy Reid, your love for Andy Reid. Do they cover this threat?
You can add me to that list too. The Chiefs are not the same team. I mean, I was against them last week. I'm against them again this week. Washington at home. I mean, this Washington team, if you look at what people expected them to do versus what they're doing, it's not even close. I think Washington's much better than they seem. And the Chiefs are fool's gold. I mean, laying 6.5 or 7 on the road is way too high for this team. They have absolutely no defense, like Batman said. The offensive line is not performing. And even Mahomes doesn't look like the same guy. I don't know if it's the hangover or what it is, but when he rolls out of the pocket, he just does not seem like the same guy.
Let me go to Sheep. Sheep, do you agree with Rooster?
I really don't have an opinion on this game. I'm afraid. I thought if I had you put a gun to my head, I'm going to lay the 6.5 on the Chiefs. I look at it. Listen, who's better, the Eagles or Washington? Washington, of course. But I saw what they did to the Eagles. So if I'm going to bet something, I'm going to bet the Chiefs minus 6.5. I'm not convinced on Washington.
I mean, I know they beat the Eagles by 12 points, but in that first half, the game was basically 14-13, and then Kansas City put a nice drive right before
You're
half.
absolutely right. I do agree with you. But then at the final, what we get graded on is the final score. So if the Chiefs win 35-17, I'm okay.
Absolutely. I think Washington can stay within the Vegas number here. They put up almost 110 points over the last 4 weeks. If they didn't turn the ball over twice against the Saints and 3 times against Buffalo, who has one of the best defenses in football this year, I think they've only given up 64 points the entire season. They would have put up even more points. I think they can score with Kansas City here, and their defense might be a little bit better. I like Washington here plus the 7. But let's go to the next game on the screen with Dave Mason from Bet Online. You got a Minnesota team traveling to Carolina. Carolina with a heartbreaking loss last week to our beloved Philadelphia Eagles. Opened up Carolina 1. I thought the wrong team was favored. It's flip-flopped up to 2 in some spots. Bet line is -1, -30. Totals up to 46. Dave Mason, how are they betting this week?
Vikings a bit. 57% of the cash so far is on the Vikings. 77% on the under. We did take some sharp action on the Vikings when they're dogs. Pick them are better.
Rooster, you like the Vikings here, or are you going with the Panthers?
I really don't like anything on the side here. I did go under 47 as soon as it opened. That's a key number up in that neighborhood. I don't like under 45.5. I think it adjusted a little too much, but I like under here if anything.
Sheep, do you agree with Rooster?
You know what? He brings up a good point of the key number 47. But there's another key thing we have to keep into consideration with these coaches. I've noticed more and more coaches are going on it on 4th down this year, 4th and 3, and they're not. So I have to stay away from this one. I don't like the way the game is being coached this year. And I don't know if they're doing this because it's a 17-game season now, or some of these new coaches are trying different things.
Let me go to 8 Ball. 8 Ball, you like a side or a total?
Nah, as of right now, I don't have a side or a total. I do like Carolina in a teaser here. Minnesota's played a lot of close games this year, so I think if you can get 7.5 on Carolina here, I think that's a good spot at home.
Maddie from the college, could you like anybody?
Yeah, I like Minnesota. I think Minnesota, Dalvin Cook and those boys, they run all over this Carolina team. I think they get the win. They cover.
Batman?
Yeah, buddy.
Who do you like?
One of my biggest games of the week right here. Sheep, get your pen out.
Go ahead.
The Carolina offensive adjusted sack rate, 7.9%. That's a huge number they're giving up. The Minnesota Vikings, 9.4% adjusted sack rate and deficiency. 17 of those bad boys here. You're giving me a bad Carolina quarterback against Mike Zimmer, who is angry after that Detroit game. No Christian McCaffrey, most likely in this game again. I keep telling you that he is 70% of that team. The Minnesota Vikings at a pick are one of the best bets of the week.
So you like the Vikings minus? What would you lay them up to? -2, -1?
2 would be my top play right there. 2 is my high number.
Yeah, I agree with Batman here. Minnesota's played the better competition. You look at the strength of schedule for the Panthers up to this point in the season. I mean, they really haven't beaten no one. They were getting killed by the Cowboys headed into that 4th quarter before they put up some trash points. They lost to the Eagles. They barely squeezed by the Jets. They beat a Saints team that was missing a bunch of players because of COVID, and they beat a bad 1-4 Texans team. I think Minnesota's a much better team here. I like Minnesota here. I took them +1. I took them at a pick. I laid 1. I'm laying 2. I'll lay 2.5. I think they're going to win this game easily. Let's go to the next game on the screen, 261, 262. LA Chargers, Justin Herbert, maybe the baddest man on the planet right now. He's going up against Lamar Jackson, who brought that Baltimore team back last week, down 18 points. In Baltimore, game opened up 3. It bounces back from 3. Juice down to 2.5, back to 3. Bet online right now, 2.5 -15. The total's at 51.5. Dave Mason, How's the public betting this one? And is there any sharp money on either the side or the total?
They're betting Chargers big. 82% of the early cash is on the Chargers. I'm a little surprised it's that high. 80% on the over. Currently 51.5. Nothing too sharp as of yet.
Rooster, you going with Herbert or are you going with Lamar Jackson here?
I'm going with Herbert here. I think that the Ravens come off that unbelievable win. I still am trying to figure out how they won that game. Got to go back and rewatch it because if it was decent coaching by the Colts, they had zero shot. But I think he's the better quarterback right now. I know they got to go into tough territory in Baltimore, but if I'm getting 3 points on the better quarterback, an explosive offense, I'm taking 3 here.
Dad, do you agree with him?
At 2.5, Baltimore's the play. I'm playing the number. This game opened at 4, bet down to 3.5 to 3, 2.5 in some markets. They have a huge injury on defense. One of their starting corners is going to be out in this game, who's a replacement for the backup here. Lamar Jackson has been throwing the football much better. At 2.5, it's Baltimore for me.
Let me go to Sheep. Sheep, you like Baltimore or the Chargers?
+3. I have to agree with some of our colleagues. I like that also, but that's a good note that Batman just brought up. So let's see where the game ends up on Sunday morning.
Let me go to 8-Ball. 8-Ball, who do you like here?
I love the Ravens here. The Chargers right now, their defense ranks last in opponent yards per rush. So I think the Ravens are going to be able to run all over them. You saw Cleveland do it last week. They gave up 40-something points to Cleveland. They're also traveling 3,000 miles, LA, all the way down to Baltimore. So I definitely think that doesn't help. It's a 1 o'clock start time. I think they're going to come out flat. I think the Ravens are going to run all over this team.
Maddie, from the college kids. You like anybody here?
Yeah, 8-Ball said it best. It's funny because I started out leaning Chargers. Now I'm leaning Ravens. I like the Ravens if you catch 2.5. I think they run all over this team. We saw Cleveland, like 8-Ball said, ran all over the Chargers. And now you're dealing with a dual threat and Lamar Jackson who can do both. You got to watch out for him. Got to watch out for the running back. I like the Ravens minus 2.5.
Chargers put up a ton of points last week. Baltimore put up a bunch of points. Game's up to 51 at 52. I'm looking to go under 52 here. I think under's the move here. That's who I like in this match. I haven't bet the side yet. Let me go to Bobby from the college kids. Bobby, you got an opinion on this one?
Yeah, just about basically everything 8-Ball said is exactly what was going to come out of my mouth. So I like the Ravens if you can get them at 3 or 2.5.
Let's go to the next game on the screen. Game 263, 264. We got a Bengals team that was heartbroken last week with that loss to the Packers. You got a Detroit Lions that it's like every week their hearts getting broken. They find ways to lose. They may be the best 0-5 NFL team I've seen in a long time. Dave Mason from Bet Online. Is anyone betting this game here?
Not a lot of early action, but it's pretty choppy. Bengals, about 53% of the cash is on Cincy. 82% is on the under. Did take some sharp action on Cincinnati -3. It's currently 3.5.
Yeah. Let me go to Bobby from the college kids here at Real Mick. What's that new Twitter handle, Bobby?
The real McJesus.
Cincinnati's 3.5 on the road. I mean, Detroit's a pretty good 0-5 team. Who do you like here?
I like Detroit. I think they're a gritty team. They should have won a few games outright this year. They came off a heartbreaking loss against, I believe, Minnesota. I might be mistaken. And the Bengals are coming off that rough loss against the Packers. Detroit comes in 3-2 against the spread. They've impressed me. And I think the Bengals are going to be the public side come Sunday. So I'm going to side with the Lions at +3.5.
Let me go to Matty from the college kids. Matt, do you agree with your partner?
Money line. Go Detroit, money line. I love Detroit this week. Best 0-5 team I've seen. I think Golf and company, they pull it out this week.
8-Ball, do you agree?
I don't really love a side in this one. I think over 3, Detroit, the value's there. If it goes to under 3, I think the value's on Cincinnati. I think it's a field goal game.
Rooster?
I love Detroit here. I have a little handicapping group, and we always convene on Wednesday afternoons. And this is the first game.
Is that at the daycare center, or is that at the town?
Yeah. Babad knows most of the guys in the group. This is the first game the entire year all 5 of us have liked the side. And
All right, there we go. Learn trouble. Oh, Sheep,
Let me see
take
who's
the Lions
making
money line. Take the points. This is my game of the week.
Sheep, you like anybody?
Well, first, since he said that, I'm going to have to see who was actually refereeing this game. Let me make a call there, see if I can change things up a little bit. I have no opinion on this game, and I like to see Detroit grab one, but I'll stay away.
Look, you guys back?
Is it me? I'm here. Is it me?
Yeah, go ahead, Batman. I had a spam call coming in.
1-800-NFL Sunday. The first thing I want to say is, Bobby, is that a straight jacket on your door that I see in the background?
Nah, it's a bathroom.
Okay, I feel so much better, man. I was looking at that and I saw a straight jacket.
Yeah, wait, Batman. Bobby never told you. He used to be this cape artist. That's what it is.
I'm not that crazy.
playing Houdini up in there. I like it. So for me, this is an organizational bet. If you have watched the Bengals and the Bengals organization over the last 20 years, this is what they do. They play a great home game, a really close game against a great, kind of organization like the Green Bay Packers. They get on a plane, they travel with still a terrible coaching staff. Detroit is going to win this football game. This is my biggest bet of the week. +4 when it popped. I got it at +3.5, and I even tagged it at 3 again. The Detroit Lions to the window.
You taking the money line too?
Yes, sir.
Well, there you go. I like the Lions. Bet them +3.5. Bet them on the money line. They get their first week of the season. All right, let's go to the next game on the screen. 265, 266. Rams versus the Giants. Big line move here, Dave Mason. I see it up to 10 at Bet Online, 435. Total's down to 48. How are they betting this one and why?
65% of the cash is on the Rams, -10, +105 currently. 80% is on the under, currently 48. We did take a little bit of sharp action. And Giants +10, -110.
We go to Rooster first. Rooster, you taking the ball here?
I can't bet the Giants. I don't care if they're at home. I don't care where the hell they are. Daniel Jones looked very, very woozy to me after that hit. I'm not touching this game with a 10-foot ball. I don't like either side.
Sheep, you like anybody?
I have to agree. I hate to say this, but I have to agree with Rooster.
Let me go to April. April, you like a side or a total?
I want nothing to do with this game. Giants are dealing with injuries. Danny Jones is hurt. I think Barkley's hurt. They have a receiver also that's injured, so I'm staying away from this one.
All right, let's go to the next game. Next game on the board is a massive game. You got Arizona, who's undefeated, going to Cleveland. Game opened up 3, went to 2.5, back to 3. I'm seeing 3 -30 at Bet Online. The total's 49.5. Dave Mason, is there any sharp money on the side or a total?
Some sharp on Cleveland, -2.5. And the plot book's on Cleveland as well. 70% of the cash is on the Brownies, and 72% on under.
Let me go to Bobby from the college kids, the real big Jesus. You like anybody here?
Yeah, when this game came out at Cleveland, less than a field goal, it seemed like a gift. This is probably my favorite bet on the board this week. When you take a look at both teams, Cleveland's first in rushing yards per attempt and rushing attempts per game. Clearly, they have the dual-headed monster, Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. And Arizona comes in at 31st in opponent yards per rush attempt. The Arizona Cardinals are missing Chandler Jones, who got put on the COVID IR, and their center, Rodney Hudson, is also out. I believe Cleveland's hungry for a win after the loss against the Chargers. And when you take a look at Cleveland's defense, they're second in team pass rush win rate and first in team run stop win rate. So I really love Cleveland here, -2.5, and I lean under 49.5.
Let me go to Matty from the college kids. Do you agree, Matt?
100%. 2 big factors. Chandler Jones, huge factor, come on the defensive line. Hudson touches the ball every single play. Center, huge that he's going to be out. 2 games in a week, like I said earlier. Detroit money line, like I'm on the spread, and Cleveland, same thing. Love Cleveland here. I think they run all over this team, and Cleveland and Detroit are the plays.
We go to 8 ball. 8 ball. Who do you like?
I agree. I think Cleveland's the move here. The Cardinals are dealing with injuries. They can't stop the run. There's going to be wins in this game. I think they're going to run all over them. I think Cleveland at home's the right side here.
Rooster, do you agree?
Absolutely not. Kyler Murray has proven to me now, finally, that he is the real deal.
It's time to get off the train. It's time to get off the
It's not the train, it's Baker Mayfield. Remember,
Baker Mayfield's got Baker Mayfield has a 45 overall quarterback rating for this season. 45. Kyler Murray is up for the MVP, and he proves it again this week. I love the dog here. This game's up to 3.5 in some places, and literally, when I bet it at plus 3.5, I thought the police were going to knock on my door and arrest me. Like, this is stealing at plus 3.5. Let the public keep betting this game up. I hope it goes to 4, and then if it loses, I got to move in with Babat.
Listen, the only reason the police were at your door because you were impersonating Uncle Fester from the Addams Family on last week's show.
sheep. You know what happened? Rooster, he took 3.5 even money, and as soon as he bet it, one of the sharp offshore books went to 3.5 minus 30. So it actually moved against him. I don't know why, but things are going on. Sheep, but he liked it.
Oh, I love Baker Mayfield. So that's all I got to say. Money line, 2.5, 3. This is Cleveland's game. Listen, you can put all the analytics in it, the spots and everything. There's one thing about gambling. It's the position, and this is Cleveland's game this week.
Let me go to Batman.
It was like the Colts last week.
Batman, you agree?
Rooster, the 1-800 hotline is open, my man. I wore the hat for you. I was trying to give it away. Cleveland with an 8.8% defensive adjusted sack rate. This is interesting. Arizona is worst in the league almost at 8.6% giving up sacks with Kyler Murray playing on offense. They've given up 14 of them on the year. That's really surprising. I think the difference in this game is the Cleveland defensive line. I bet it at 2.5. I even lean under because I think Cleveland's going to run the football in this game. I think the wins are going to bother Arizona. I don't like Arizona's injuries. I think Cleveland's the second best bet on the board.
My man Batman.
Let's go to Thursday night before it kicks off real quick. The Eagles somehow are 6.5, 7-point dogs. So was at 53 at Bet Online. Dave Mason, where's the sharp money? Where's the public betting this? And is anyone on the total?
Yeah, a lot of people are on the total. The over. 71% of the cash is on the over. 68% of the cash is on the Bucks -7. Money line's big. 92% of the money line cash is on the Bucks outright. Currently -313. Teasers. 80% of the teaser cash is on the Bucks. However, with all that cash on it, nothing extremely sharp here at Bet Online.
Let me go to 8 ball. Maybe a little Eagles money line or maybe just plus the points. Who do you like?
Staying away from a side here. I like the Eagles team total over 22.5 points. Took it earlier today. They've been able to score points in garbage time, so even if they're getting blown out, they'll be able to push the ball down the field. The Bucs secondary's hurt, so they're not going to try and run the ball. They're going to get the ball to the receivers, let them work. I think that's the goal.
Let me go to Matty from the college kids. Matt, do you agree? Who do you like here?
I love my Philadelphia Eagles, but I can't bet them. I don't know how they win this game. They can cover the 7. It's going to be tough winning. What I do love, though, today is I do love Miles Sanders under 9.5 rushing attempts. I think that's a great move. We took it -130. And then, I think Tampa and the tease is a good play as well.
I'm going to buy from the college kids. The real big teams. Who do you like?
Marking.
I agree with Matt there. I like Philly with the points. I like Tampa in a teaser. I might lay the teaser spot 6.5 down to Tampa Bay Pick'em or -0.5 and tease the over in this game.
Rooster, Jalen Hurts versus Tom Brady. What do you take?
I mean, I agree. I don't know how the Eagles pull this game off, but I took the Eagles +4 even money in the first half. I think the Eagles are going to come out here fired up. I've been in that stadium many times in primetime games. The crowd is going to be vicious. They're going to be loud. I think Brady pulls it out in the end, but I like the Eagles +4 even money first half. I think that's the wrong line.
Gee, what are you doing in this situation?
Tough game, very tough game. Actually, I like Tampa Bay -6.5, and that's it. And the total, I'm concerned. The public's betting over.
Tom Brady doesn't have a finger issue, right? Doesn't he have a finger issue, Batman, Tom Brady?
He has
He
a
does.
paper cut.
He had it last
cut.
week, too.
That means they're going to win by 30.
For Tom Brady, he went out and threw for 400 yards. Batman, did you bet anything here?
I did. I made you boys proud on this show. I might be the only one with semi-conviction for sure. I like the Eagles. I took them +8. I got them at $1.27 +8 in the local market. I think the Philadelphia defensive line is going to put some pressure on Tom Brady. Philadelphia tends to struggle against mobile quarterbacks, and I think that Tom Brady is not that, even though he's the greatest of all time. I think this game metrically matches up really well with Philadelphia and their defensive pass rush. I think the corners are going to be able to single up and kind of compress Antonio Brown down a little bit. I think Philadelphia goes over their team total at 22. I took them +8, and I like it. I think it's a great bet.
Man, this was tough. Eagles plus the hook, if you can get it. The right side. I don't know if it's going to cover or not, but that's definitely the right side. All right, let's go back to the screen here. Sunday. What do we got left? We got
Vegas.
Vegas Raiders with a bunch of problems with John Gruden leading the team. I mean, he was the man over there. He was calling the shots big time against Denver. Let me go to Rooster first. Rooster, how does Vegas stay within 3.5 points here with all the bullshit stuff going around?
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough. That's turmoil. Like this isn't a minor thing. You lose your head coach for what I think is a completely 100% bogus reason. I don't know how deep the players were bought into him, because I was expecting at least Derek Carr to come out and be like, I'm devastated. They took my head coach, but he didn't do it, and no other players did it. I guess they were afraid of the cancel culture. I think this was a completely bogus thing to take Gruden out. It was obviously a hit job, because I want to see the other 650,000 emails, and I bet a lot of other people are implicated there. But I don't know how they recover from losing a head coach. I mean, the two most important people in an organization are the head coach and the quarterback. I hate to lay 3.5 here, but I like the Broncos.
Dave Mason from BetOnline with all that news about this Raiders team. I mean, how much of an influx did you see after that on the Denver Broncos at your sports?
Yeah, some. I mean, overall, not a lot. 59% of the cash on the Broncos. We did take some sharp action on the Broncos at -3. As of now, the total's a bigger decision, 68%. But most of the money's yet to come in, so a lot of those guys betting late. They'll factor that in without a doubt, and they missed the early line, and they're going to still be factoring the Gruden stuff in late and be betting the Broncos on Sunday.
People like anybody here?
Denver. I don't know how, as Rooster said, a team can come together after that. I mean, you're using your special teams coach to oversee the whole operation. It's a big adjustment. I mean, face it, half the week when you're supposed to be preparing for the game, they're listen, they're human beings. They're reading everything. They're getting questioned. It's taking away focus from what the main point is, the game, where Denver is just, listen, we're in contention still for this division, and they're playing decent ball. So I'm a Bronco.
Let me go to 8-ball. I know you were bullish on the Raiders early in the year. Are you buying off this team now? I know the Broncos still have some injuries in their offensive line. Can Vegas stay with the number, or are they in trouble?
For this game, I love Denver first half -3. The Raiders have lost every first half this year, so for some reason they come out slow. I'm not sure what it is. They usually get going second halves. So I think Denver at home first half's the right side.
Let me go to Matty from the college because Matt, do you agree?
Yeah, I agree with the first half move, but I also do like them full game. It's going to be tough for the Raiders, in my opinion, to come back. I mean, Gruden's not just a head coach; he's $100 million head coach. All decisions were ran through him. It's going to be tough. Now you take him out of the equation. I do like the Broncos.
Feldman, you on the Broncos here too?
Denver with a plus 26 point differential this year. Las Vegas Raiders -7. People might find that surprising. I find that very, very intriguing. A lot of people would think that the Vegas Raiders should be favored here, but if you look at the metrics, I don't think so. John Gruden designed every play, called every team meeting, ran the entire show. I don't believe you can take a guy out of that role in a short week like this and short notice, put someone in there, and then compete on Sunday. Denver -3, great play.
All right, let's go to the next game on the board. Dallas Cowboys, maybe are they the second best team in the NFC? They're playing the Patriots in New England. Game opened up 1. It's crossed over to team number 3. I'm seeing 3.5. I see some 4s. Bet online 3.5 plus 0.5. The total has been adjusted as well. It's up to 50. Dave Mason, how are they betting this one?
It's pretty split. 52% of the cash is on the Cowboys, and 64% is on the under 50. Nothing too sharp yet.
Let me go to Rooster first. Rooster, Bill Belichick, not the same since Tom Brady left. How do you say the number here?
You think?
But
Yeah.
Peyton Manning is better than Tom Brady. Let's make you still on that?
Well, look, I think this game this is a numbers bet for me only. I think plus 3.5 is a good bet. I don't love it, but according to the numbers, I think you take 3.5. If I could take 4 minus 15, I'll take it. But don't love this game either way. Belichick's obviously been exposed as a fraud. And the Cowboys are good. I mean,
What did he say?
Fraud. That fraud. Didn't you hear me? He's a fraud.
Hold on. What are they mixing with that fucking Manischewitz?
Fraud. You didn't hear me? Look, fraud. The guy's a fraud.
Oh my God! You
Billy
like that?
Godfather, listen, after COVID restrictions are done, I think we need to get a home studio audience. Okay, can we set that up, please?
We're going to start that. Hey, Paul, you like the Cowboys here? You think they're going to blow out New England out, or you like the home dog?
I don't love this game. If I had to take something on this game, it's the under 51. Patriots play excellent defense at home. I think that's the only way I'm going to attack this one.
Hey, Maddie from the college kids, you like anybody?
I agree with 8. I think under 51 is a solid play, but I do like the Patriots plus 3.5. I do not think Bill Belichick is a fraud. So many Super Bowl rings I can't count. But yeah, if I had to lean, I'd lean Patriots plus 3.5. They're able to stay within that number versus the Buccaneers. I think they have a shot here too as well.
Bobby from the college kids, do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. It's really kind of a tough game for me. If I was to bet anything, I'd take the points with New England at home because you're beating the key number of 3. But other than that, I'd stay away.
Batman, you going to nibble on +4 on the Patriots here, or is Dallas just too strong?
Man, Dallas' strength of schedules, top 7 in the league. New England's his last 2 in the league. Dallas is a juggernaut, man. The only way I'm playing this game, if I play it, is Dallas -3, minus $1.20. I can't play it any other way. I think they have the advantage in every part of this game. That's just my opinion. I have not played it yet, but that's what I would lean if I have to play it.
All right, let's go to the next game on the screen. Game 273, 274. Geno Smith is back. Steelers in Pittsburgh. It's not a move a ton. It's up to 5, 5.5. Bet online -5 and 42 on the total. Dave Mason, how are they betting this one?
56% of cash is on the Steelers. 52% is on the under. Nothing too sharp as yet.
Rooster, you betting Geno Smith here?
I have about as much confidence in Geno Smith as I do for Baba picking me up from a bar at night when I'm drunk, okay? And which is absolutely zero. I'd be sitting out there all night. Geno Smith, I can't believe he played as good as he did in that last game. I've seen this guy. I know what he's all about. I love Ben Roethlisberger here. And I've liked Big Ben all year, and he hasn't lived up to my expectations. I laid 4 on this game. I wish I bet more because it was a small bet. It's up to 5.5. I still think there's value at -5.5. I think the Steelers kill this team.
Let me go to Sheep. Sheep, you agree?
First of all, them dive bars you're drinking at nighttime, I ain't going nobody near.
No kidding. I can't depend on you. We all know that.
Listen, I stay out of Kensington at late night. But I do have to. But I may not pick him up at the bar, but I may have to agree with him on the Steeler game. If I'm going to, you put a gun to my head, I'm going to lean to the Steelers. I think Ben showed some blood last week.
Is there any chance, Batman, that Geno Smith can pull this out and cover the spread?
I bet the Seattle money line.
Let's go.
Whoa, I did. I think Pittsburgh's terrible. I think their offensive line's bad. I think their defense is bad. I think their defensive secondary is bad. I think Geno Smith has really progressed from what I saw last week. I've looked at all the comments in Seattle about the coaches and the players. I read all that preseason stuff. They really like Geno Smith. I thought he played great, and that last interception was a wide receiver interception and not Geno Smith. I got to tell you, man, I +5 is too many points here. I took that, and I also bet their money line. I think they win the game.
8-Ball, do you agree?
I agree with Batman. If this gets to 6, I'll be on it. I think whenever a quarterback goes out, the rest of the team steps up. I think that's what's going to happen here. They're going to rally. They have a bunch of great skill position players. You still have Metcalf, still have Lockett. You have a solid defensive line. I think Pittsburgh hasn't looked good at all this year. I think Seattle's the right side here, and if it gets to 6, I'll be on it.
Maddie from the college kids. Who you take?
I'm totally with Batman here. Let that line go up 6, 7. If I can get 7, let me take 7. Geno Smith, I think he had, proved a lot to me last week. I think he's a former starter in this league. I think he's a vet. And everyone laughs at the idea of Geno Smith against Pittsburgh's defense, but Pittsburgh's offense is nowhere near as good as anyone thinks. I mean, they're horrible on the offensive line, in my opinion. Skill positions, running backs, they can't run the ball. Big Ben is a shell of himself. I said it at the beginning of the year. Everyone, looked at me sideways. This Pittsburgh team, they're not the same team that everyone thinks they are. Yeah, I do like Seattle. Let that line keep on going up.
Bobby from the college kids, do you agree?
Yeah, I think the Pittsburgh's laying too much at home at 5.5. I'd probably wait till it hits 6 and lay the 6 or take the 6 with Seattle.
I used to always like Pats over Geno's. And I like Geno's over the Fermanti brothers this week. I like Seattle. I'm waiting for this man to ferment, to marinate, to get a little higher. Anything at 6 or better, I'm going to be all over the Seahawks here, man. And I think Geno's going to play a hell of a game. Let's go next game on the screen, game 275, 276. Monday night, Buffalo looks unstoppable. They've led up the least amount of points in the NFL. They got the best point differential. They're traveling to Tennessee. Game's up to 5.5. I see some 6s in the market. Total's at 53.5, 54-ish. Dave Mason from BetOnline. Is it too early to ask you who they're betting here?
Nah, there's actually a lot of cash on this game, especially for Monday night. Sometimes a Monday night big money doesn't come in till after the Sunday games are great and people have more money in their account. But 80% of the early cash is on the Bills, and there's really good volume on the game already. 57% is on the under.
Let me go to Rooster first. Rooster, did you make a move yet, or you waiting?
I'm waiting on this one. Look, the line seems too high to me, but the Bills look really good to me as well. So I'm just going to kind of wait. If this game gets closer to 7, I'm in. 53.5 on the total. 54 is a semi-key number up in this neighborhood. Lean under here, if anything, but I wouldn't touch it unless I can get under like 54.5, but nothing on this game really for me.
Let me go to Sheep. Sheep, any whispers in the shadows back there where you reign supreme?
Titans, Titans. Buffalo goes down. Tennessee outright. I took the 7. I would take probably 6 if I could when it goes back. And I even like to bet them on the money line. No opinion on the total, but this is Tennessee's game.
Wow. Let's go to 8-ball. 8-ball is Derrick Henry going to have a huge night. Are they going to keep Josh Allen off the field? Can Tennessee win this game outright?
I like Buffalo here. I think they're playing the best football out of any team in the NFL right now. They're winning by an average of 22 points per game. So they're not just beating teams, they're just eviscerating them right now. Josh Allen's playing great football. The defense looks good. I think they're ranked number 1 in the NFL right now. Tennessee's in shambles. They lost the box score to Jacksonville. They haven't looked good to me. The offensive line is weak. I think Buffalo gets this done. Anything less than a touchdown, I'm laying it.
Let me go to Matty from the college kids. Matt, who do you like here?
Yeah, I'm with Sheep, Jimmy. Tennessee plus the 6. You know, if you can get plus 7, even better. But this Buffalo team, they're a great team. They've outperformed expectations. They're doing great, covering their spreads. They're beating down on teams. But I think in this spot, they haven't really versed a team that runs the ball well. And this is about one of the best, if not the best, running team in the league. I don't put much stock into running backs, but I do put a lot of stock in Derrick Henry because he's a little bit different. He's kind of like Marshawn Lynch. He wears those defenders down. So, yeah, I do like Tennessee plus a 6.
Bobby from the college kids. Who do you like?
I'm going to wait and let this line shape, but I'm with Matt on this one.
Let me go to Batman. Batman, Buffalo has now been implemented as the favorite to win the Super Bowl. Are you jumping off the ship now, or are you riding?
Buffalo's strength of schedule is 31st in the NFL. They've played the easiest schedule so far in the entire league. Tennessee plus 6 or better is platinum. Their money line is platinum. When I was in college, we used to go to Nashville all the time. Really strange things happen on Monday night. Tennessee wins.
I think the public's going to be all over Buffalo here.
Again.
Yeah, I like Tennessee Sheep. I'm on the wait. I think this line keeps going up. I think the public's going to be all over Buffalo. Tennessee's definitely the right side. If Buffalo wins this week and outperforms the market again, well, then they deserve to be the favorite to win the Super Bowl. Dave Mason, let everyone know where you're at. Any promos you got going on down there at BetOnline?
Yeah, man. At Dave Mason, BOL on Twitter. And get on over to betonline.ag if you don't have an account with us already. We got the earliest openers for the football and fastest payouts, all sorts of bonuses. If you're into bonuses, check out our promos page.
Thanks for coming on, Dave. I
Thank
want
you
to
for
thank
having me.
Billy Rooster, Gotham City Vig, Barry the Right Number, Jimmy the Sheep Batista, Bobby from the College Kids, Matt from the College Kids, the 8-Ball, Mark Abrams for setting it all up. And I'm the Philly Godfather from the PhillyGodfather.com. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next week.
Billy, before we go, I need a college game of the week. I got Purdue plus the 12 and the Purdue money line in the biggest upset of the year in college football.
Kidding. Kind of like the under in the Cincinnati game, under 58. You can find it. I like Purdue as well.
8-Ball, what about a baseball pick tonight?
Nice.
Yes, love it.
There we go. And, yeah, just to let everyone know, the 8-Ball told us some massive futures on those Houston Astros. So make sure you guys cheer them in. If your name's Mush, Acid, if they call you Black Cat, stay off the Houston Astros against the Red Sox in that series.
Good night.